Welcome to the Deep Dive. You've probably heard of, maybe even read, Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. It's known everywhere as this really powerful story about following your dreams. But today, we want to go a bit deeper. We're going to explore why this, well, seemingly straightforward story about Santiago, the shepherd boy from Andalusia, has resonated with so many people globally, just keeps captivating millions. We've looked at some really comprehensive book reviews, some interesting excerpts too, to try and, unlock what gives it this lasting impact. Our mission really is to figure out the kind of alchemy behind its appeal. Why does this story stick?
Yeah, and you're right. At its core, it is about Santiago, this young shepherd. He keeps having this dream, right, about treasure hidden near the pyramids in Egypt. So he sets off on this huge quest. And the absolute center of the book, I think, is how it frames chasing your deepest desires as following your personal legend, which isn't just like a goal. It's presented as this unique purpose the universe has for you. And the book argues pretty strongly that everyone has one and can achieve it.
Okay, so he heads out on this really symbolic journey across deserts, meeting all sorts of characters. You've got kings, gypsies, this very bookish Englishman, and then the alchemist himself, of course. So as he's going through all this, meeting these people, what are the big universal messages, the things woven in there that make it so powerful for so many people?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Beyond just the plot, the book is actively showing destiny not as something fixed, but as a path you sort of co-create by listening to your gut, basically, and facing tough stuff. Santiago's journey really shows that self-discovery isn't one big aha moment. It's more like a series of small steps, often really challenging ones, where he learns to tune into what Coelho calls omens. And these aren't just random events, they're signs, little nudges from the universe, you could say. It kind of all leads back to that very famous quote.
Oh, when you want something, all the universe conspires.
Exactly that one. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. But the book suggests it's not like passive magic. It's more like an active partnership. You have to engage with life.
That quote is definitely, well, it's iconic. You hear it everywhere. It connects with people. But how does the book handle those times when it really feels like the universe isn't helping you out? Does Santiago face real struggles, moments of doubt? Does that make the message feel earned, not just like a nice saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he faces real setbacks. He gets robbed. He seriously doubts himself. He hits moments of just deep fear and wanting to quit. The book doesn't gloss over how hard the journey is. And it's actually through those trials, those times he feels like giving up, that he finds resilience, that he learns to trust something beyond just what he can see or understand. So those challenges are paradoxically maybe part of that conspiracy helping him. They're necessary for his growth.
Right. That makes sense. It gives the inspirational side more weight, doesn't it? And another strength, I think, is the language. It's simple, almost poetic sometimes. That makes it so easy to read, so accessible, even though it's set in a specific place and time. The core ideas, courage, dreams, finding meaning, they just feel universal.
That does bring up an important counterpoint, though. While loads of people find it deeply moving, some readers do find it a bit too simple, maybe repetitive, especially if you're looking for, say, a really complex plot or, deep psychological character studies like in a traditional novel.
Yeah, I've heard that criticism.
But that's kind of where its unique structure is actually its strength. It's very allegorical. Almost everything, every character, every event can be read as a symbol. So it functions less like a standard novel and more like a modern fable, maybe, or a kind of spiritual guide. It's designed, I think, to bypass some of the intellectual stuff and speak directly to those core human things, like old parables did. And that very structure, that allegorical feel, is probably why it resonates so widely.
So wrapping this up then, what's the big takeaway for someone listening? What does it all mean? It sounds like The Alchemist isn't really about the literal physical treasure in the end. It's much more about the spiritual richness you gain by actually pursuing your dreams.
Exactly. It's one of those books that genuinely seems to speak differently to each person, depending on, where they are in their own life. Its real brilliance might be how it meets you where you are. It holds up a mirror to your own hopes, your own struggles.
So the true value isn't the destination, the gold or whatever. It's the journey itself. The self-discovery, understanding your own personal legend.
Precisely. It's about the transformation that happens because you undertook the journey. That's the real treasure.
Which leads to a good question for you listening. What personal legend might you be pursuing, even subconsciously? And what omens, what little signs might life be showing you right now? Something to think about. This deep dive, we hope, gave you some insights that stick, maybe encourage you to look at your own path with slightly different eyes.